Hello again. This is Ken Godevanis, and this is Kenny's Carrots. This is episode number 33. We're continuing to look at the wisdom from Christopher Watkin in his book, Biblical Critical Theory. Today, we touch on a most interesting topic, a perspective I hadn't thought of before, but it's here, and hoping you'll resonate with it as well. It's God saves us from himself. Think about that. God saves us from himself. Watkin writes, Genesis 6-9 is not first and foremost a story about Noah. It is primarily a story about God, his anger, and his judgment. We tend to think of God's anger in terms of two extremes, each inadequate. God is either presented as the benevolent granddaddy who would never hurt anyone and who is therefore no help in bringing justice to a hurting world and stemming the tide of wrongdoing, or he is seen as a capricious, unhinged despot, the deity of Richard Dawkins' imagination, liable to fly off the handle at any moment. What is fascinating about the way God is presented in the flood narrative, and for that matter in the rest of the Bible as well, is that God is neither simply furious nor utterly benevolent, but he acts to save people out of the midst of his own wrath and settled opposition to sin. The waters that drowned the human race were also the waters that floated the ark and saved Noah and his family. Judgment and grace flow from the same source, not from a good God fighting against a bad God. More than that, neither Noah nor anyone else would have been saved at all if God had not warned of his own coming judgment and commanded Noah, no doubt against his own instincts and inclinations and to the amusement and ridicule of his neighbors, to build a large vessel in the middle of the desert. Noah is saved not because he flees from God's anger, but because in the midst of that anger, he trusts God and his word. Resting in the calm eye of a storm raging all around him, Noah is saved in the ark as the flood surges over the land. In the flood narrative, it is God who saves Noah from God. In the midst of the torrent of his own raging justice, God places a floating ship of mercy. This is a distinctive biblical figure. It is God whom we fear, his anger at our rebellion against him. But it is in God we hope, in his promise of rescue. God is neither a daughtery granddaddy nor a rabid madman. In the light of what's going on in Israel and the Middle East today, this is an incredibly beautiful picture. In the midst of the flood, in the midst of destruction, God provides an ark for you and I. Join me next time when we continue with Kenny's Crazy Carrots. I'm Ken Godevanis. If you like what you see, please indicate so, and also do subscribe to our YouTube channel, Digging for Scriptural Gems. See you next time.